Ladies and gentlemen, now thanks to Kabam for putting the brand new patch live today, and also the incredibly hard and swift work of legendary data miner Outrage. Today we're going to be breaking down the full abilities. We've got the numbers, the values, absolutely everything for a fully maxed out version of Namor, so you can really get stuck into this champion, man. And from the data mined abilities, if you watch that video, I was really hyped about Namor, man, but the values, they have come through, boys. There is some absolutely insane stuff here, and I really feel like Namor is going to be such an incredibly fun champion to play. I think he has very strong god tier potential with a little bit of beyond god tier potential as well, and also the ability to if you have him at dupe level 200, counter almost every piece of fun and interactive damage in this game. So I think Namor is just going to be absolutely crazy. But in terms of his playstyle, like, I think you're going to see some fairly, like, you know, if you go into a matchup with this champion, he's going to seem like a little bit air at first, and then when you get to 30 stacks of Outrage, you're just going to shoot up to this crazy level of insane burst for about, you know, 10-15 seconds, and that's going to go back down to air for a little bit. So it's going to be a very spiky, bursty champion, and if you enjoy playing characters like that, I feel like you're really going to love Namor. But he's also got some pretty good utility as base. But anyway, let's start off by talking about the signature ability. So it's hydrokinetic armor. So, based on the signature level, and again, this is a fully maxed out 5-star here, Namor takes 100% reduced damage from all sources while attacking his opponent. When Namor ends an attack, any damage prevented by hydrokinetic armor is captured and sent back to the opponent as energy damage. Now, to me, this seems absolutely insane, especially when thinking about opponents like Havoc, Korg, Electro, Magic, Domino, Mephisto, any scenario where there's fun and interactive damage, because it says 100% reduced damage from all sources. So providing you are attacking the opponent, you're going to be able to store up that damage and not only completely prevent it if you've got a max sig, but also use that fun and interactive damage to slap it on the opponent as well. So that seems just absolutely mad there. But also you do have like the downtime and vulnerability on this one when you're not attacking as well, so you've got a bit of degeneration there. However, Namor does also have the ability to regenerate on special attacks as well. So yeah, man, that seems like a really good base ability there. Now, one thing to note as well is his medium attacks have a 30% chance to inflict a relatively small bleed over 6 seconds. However, with the way that Namor works, you actually probably don't really want this bleed. You want it to fail, because then he's going to gain stacks of Outrage, and these are really important to Namor. And again, that bleed's only about what is it, 25% of his attack as direct damage over 6 seconds. So, you know, it's all right, but it's not really like too much there, and it gets a little bit enhanced for deep wounds, but because it's a 6-second bleed, there's not really too much benefit. Might take it up to about 35% of his base attack there, so it's all right. And then kind of going down a little bit further, let's have a chat about how his Outrage mechanic is going to work. So Namor can have a maximum of 30 stacks of Outrage, and this next line is very important when you're fighting Namor, man. Definitely something to keep in mind. So every 3 seconds, Namor gains 1 Outrage. Each time Namor is affected by a stun debuff, he reduces the time between Outrage generated by ½ a second. And once Namor activates Imperious Rex, the timer is reset back to 3 seconds there. So keep in mind, if you stun him while you're fighting him, he's going to become outraged very fast, and when you hit 30 stacks of Outrage, man, you are in trouble. So keep that in mind for the brand new event quest on Wednesday, man. You don't really want to stun Namor if at all possible when fighting him, or else that's going to make him gain Outrage much faster. Also, Namor generates 1 Outrage whenever he's afflicted by a bleed or incinerate debuff there. Namor generates 1 Outrage as well whenever he fails to apply a bleed, and that's kind of a good reason why the medium attack is a 30% chance, because there's a 70% chance you'll gain a stack of Outrage on that as well. And also, whenever he fails to apply a bleed or stun debuff to the opponent, or whenever the opponent purifies a debuff. So if he does kind of apply one to champion like Kingpin, Crossbones, Agent Venom, and they shrug it off. That is going to be a good time as well. But yeah, that's how his Outrage stacks work, and you know, what actually do the Outrage stacks do? So, oh gosh, there's some crazy stuff here. So if Namor has 15 stacks of Outrage, he can dash back and hold block for 1.2 seconds to instantly gain 1 bar of power and activate Imperious Rex. However, if Namor has 30 stacks of Outrage, he instantly generates up to 95% of his max power and activates Imperious Rex. So that's going to be crazy, right? So it's not current power, it's max power. So provided he's over a little smidgen of power there, he goes straight up to the special 3. So you have like 90 seconds to kill him in any single matchup before you're going to have to deal with him being outraged there, just like passively over time, but again via stuff like bleeds failing, or bleeding him, or incinerating him, or all of the sources that we've talked about so far. He can activate this Imperious Rex mode much faster as well. So champions with power control that can survive special 3s or just kill this dude very quickly are going to be great. I imagine Corvus is actually going to be quite useful against Namor there. But yeah, that's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy. So I assume you probably just want to be spamming the special 1s there. You get straight up to your special 3, you go into Imperious Rex mode, and when you're in Imperious Rex, Namor's special attacks deal up to 240% additional damage based on his active stacks of Outrage, and special attacks cost 90% less power. However, Namor is going to drain 15% of a bar of power every second, and every time you launch a special attack, Namor applies an additional drain of 5% per second. So you've probably got an interval to get at least like 3 special attacks in Imperious Rex, but also using the heavy attack mechanic as well, you are probably going to be able to get maybe 4, maybe 5 if you're really lucky. So yeah, that seems really insane, man. I'm very much looking forward to that one. And also, once Namor has 0 power, all stacks of Outrage are removed and Imperious Rex ends, and then the kind of cycle of Namor building up begins again. So the 2 ways to remove stacks of Outrage are run out of power and also use your heavy attack. So heavy attacks, while Imperious Rex is active, launching a heavy attack consumes 15 stacks of Outrage to generate 100% of a single bar of power. Now, you probably don't want to use this first thing, but when it does come to some of like the later special attacks, I mean, you're going to lose the stacks of Outrage when you hit 0 power anyway, so you might as well, you know, throw them off at the end just to get an additional special 1 to take advantage maybe of the Fury on the special 3 or a little bit of bonus damage there. So yeah, seems like a good way to generate a bit of additional power, man. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing this Imperious Rex mode. But on top of that, man, again, you're going to be spamming special attacks when you're on Imperious Rex, and probably to build up this champion, spamming special 1s as well. And every time that you use a special attack, Namor is going to regenerate 6% of his missing health, which, you know, if you look at the health pool of like a 5-star champion or a 6-star champion, here we've got like 30,000. That actually turns out to be a fair chunk of health, man. Like if he's really low, it could be like 1,600 to 1,800 depending on how much you got on the rocks. But you can have some really good recoveries with this mechanic. So that regeneration, it doesn't seem like game-breakingly overpowered, but it seems really good, especially when you combine in his signature ability, which allows him to circumvent and avoid a lot of fun and interactive damage there. So, you know, I really like the sound of that one, man. That seems like a nice way to keep the champion topped up, especially with all the crazy power game mechanics as well. Then we've got the special attack 1, where each hit has a 50% chance to inflict a bleed, dealing 100% of Namor's base attack as direct damage over 8 seconds. So as far as bleeds go, man, that is a relatively strong one there, especially when you combine it with Imperious Rex and the Fury on the special 3, and also on the special 1, while Imperious Rex is active, Namor generates twice as much Outrage from all sources for the duration of this special attack. So that's kind of a way to top up your Outrage while you have Imperious Rex active as well, which seems pretty damn nice there. The special 2 has a 50% chance to stun on each hit, so I think there's a good chance that the opponent is going to be stunned, and also if Imperious Rex is active, the attack is also going to be unblockable as well. So the special 2, it seems alright for the what is it, the unblockable and stun utility, but really, man, that damage is off the special 1 and the special 3, and the special 3, if you haven't already clocked this yet, you gain a passive fury, increasing attack rating by 300% of Namor's base attack for 20 seconds, and also, while this fury is active, Namor's opponent gains 0 power when being struck by special attacks there. So I think some of the insanity with Namor is, again, going to be one, Imperious Rex is triggered, you go straight to the special 3 because you get 95% of your max power there, and then you get 300% bonus attack, and then you just rinse out those special attacks, man, and kind of get to a stage where you can spam those special ones. So with, you know, 300% additional attack and potentially the 240% special attack bonus based on the amount of stacks of Outrage you have, the special ones could be very, very, very deadly, man. Really, really deadly. So I'm really excited to see how Imperious Rex mode is, but there is a lot of damage multiplying his special 1 there. So if you can get off like 2 or 3 of them during that duration, and again, you can siphon more power by using the heavy attack and still collect stacks of Outrage while Imperious Rex is active, it should be pretty insane. So I've got very, very high hopes for that combo on Namor. Again, that's really what he's relying on for the damage there, but that's a 300% fury, man, so I don't really know how you can go wrong with that. It's 20 seconds as well, so a fairly decent uptime, and the cycle, you know, should be quite nice on Namor, so I'm very, very interested to see this lad in action. Got incredibly high hopes for his damage output, maybe not quite on the crazy level of Cull Obsidian, but I think also factoring in the regeneration and hydrokinetic armor to be able to bypass all sorts of fun and interactive damage and throw that back at the opponent, especially if that damage can scale with this 300% boost to attack rating. That's going to be really, really, really good. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of interested to see how that one works out. Now, to finish this video, let's have a bit of a quick look at Namor's base stats and also synergies as well, because he's got even more cool stuff. So the base stats are fairly standard. Everything is slightly below average. So slightly below average crit damage rating, block proficiency there, but nothing so bad that it's like really gimped and unusable. So he's looking pretty decent in terms of that. And then we have the synergies. So I think I'm most excited about the Namor one with Moon Knight. So under a full or new moon, attacking or being attacked by a bleeding opponent grants 5% of a bar of power with each strike. As the moon waxes and wanes, attack rating is increased by 15%. So that's either like a fair bit of power gain there, or a fair bit of additional attack. So the Moon Knight one seems fairly good, and he gives Moon Knight under a full or new moon. Power gain rate is increased by 10%. As the moon waxes and wanes, bleed and fury potency is increased by 15%. So yeah, that's just nowhere near enough to make Moon Knight a good champion, man. Moon Knight absolutely sucks at the moment, so that's terrible for Moon Knight, but, you know, pretty good for Namor there. And then we have some fairly interesting kind of new style synergies here. So we got the first one, which is Kings of the World. So each member of this synergy increases the team's special attack damage by 18% for as long as they are alive. So you need to have, you know, all 4 of these champions in the team to get the max 54% special attack bonus. But I'm also thinking like Havoc could benefit a lot from 54% additional special attack damage. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that one is going to work with certain other champions, but it seems, you know, very limiting in terms of the setup there. So this is Kings of the World with Kingpin, Black Panther, and King Groot. And again, this could be really, really good with Namor. That's 54% increased special damage there. But also, he has a Beach Bods one with Beast, Drax, and OG Hulk as well. So each member of this synergy increases the team's attack rating by 12% for as long as they are alive. Actually, I think you only need, what is it, a total of 3 of the champions total, maybe, but again, I'm not really too sure how this one's going to work or function, so we'll have to see. But again, you can get a lot more attack on Beast, on Drax, and also Hulk as well, so that one could be really, really good there. But I'm yeah, very, very curious to see how those function. Now, at his base as well, he also has friends and enemies with Magneto, so you've got a solid attack increase synergy and also a solid crit synergy there as well, and finally romance with the Invisible Woman. So yeah, I think there's a lot lot of really, really interesting stuff overall with Namor. I think this champion has some really, really good potential. I think my prediction would be that Namor is probably going to end up in the God tier. Maybe if he is really, really effective and scales, you know, tremendously well, especially with the Fury and Hydrokinetic armor, he might be a Beyond God tier champion. But I think there is a lot of promise for this dude, man. He seems really, really fun to play. But again, standard disclaimer, you never really know how good a champion is until it's actually in the game and you can play that champion and test him out in all sorts of scenarios and matchups and kind of figure out practically how useful he's going to be. But, you know, thinking about Namor and reviewing the abilities today with all the numbers, man, he has a huge amount of promise, man. Namor is looking really, really good. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think of Namor in the comments section below. What are your predictions for his tier? Yeah, share your thoughts with me below. But aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Massive, massive shout out to Outrage, man, for getting all this information together. And if you did enjoy today's video breakdown, feel free to smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.